Pittsburgh is 12-0, and in the finals,
a theme has developed the past two seasons in Double-A football. 2 years ago, Shadyside Academy advanced to the Double-A championship and was blown away by South Park 38-6. But last season, Shadyside returned to the title game and beat Washington 30-12. This year, Washington is the team coming back to avenge their loss, and they hope to continue the trend because the Little Prexies are making their 5th trip to Three Rivers in the decade of the 90s. They last won in 1993 with a 12-7 win over Riverside. They're doing it behind an offense that scores 37.3 points per game, despite not having one outstanding statistic.
It's an offense really that is geared around having unselfish people who, submerge their ego within this team. I think that's one of the things that makes us, the offense we are, is the fact that, but nobody really cares about the touchdowns and the carries and the catches. We're going to achieve success together as a team by everybody contributing, and that's the way this offense has gone this year.
If there is a player that Washington counts on, it's Brent Marsteller. The senior quarterback has led Washington to a 2-year record of 21-3. He's passed for 1,172 yards and 14 touchdowns this season, while playing very little in the second half of most of Washington's games.
Brent Marsteller showed that he's an outstanding quarterback. He's one of the finest quarterbacks in the Whitfield. There's no doubt about it. Early in the year, we ran the football quite a bit, and when the score would get out of hand, we really didn't throw the ball. We probably only threw the ball 6 or 7 times in the first 6 or 7 football games. And, he didn't have the stats he had last year, but he sure rung out some stats the last 2 weeks. He's a unique kid because not only does he play quarterback, but when we go on the other side of the football, he gets down in the three-point stance, and for the last 3 years has played defensive end.
To add more intrigue to the game, they are taking on one of only 2 teams to beat the Little Prexies the past 2 seasons in Waynesburg. After going undefeated for 8 weeks, the Raiders knocked off Washington in the last week of the regular season. 2 straight years. This game was something that everybody was looking forward to.
We've been looking forward to it. We hoped it would happen. They're an outstanding team. They're well coached, and they've got some physical people. And we told our kids before the Waynesburg game that first week that, hey, guys, there's a chance we may play these guys twice. So, we don't want to overemphasize the first meeting, but we wanted to try to win, and we didn't get it done. They were the better team that night, and hopefully we'll be able to turn the tables on them this time.
Waynesburg is taking a trip to uncharted territory. The school has never advanced to the semifinals in football, let alone the WPIAL championship. The way they play, you'd never know it. The Raiders are 5th in the WPIAL in scoring, averaging just under 37 points a game. They hold their opponents to only 8.3 points per game, also 5th in the WPIAL, and have given the community of Waynesburg a lot to be proud of.
They're great. I mean, this is great for Waynesburg Central High School. First time they've ever been to the big dance, and I'm just happy. I'm happy right now, and all these cameras stuff.
Waynesburg's led by senior Bryce Cree, who has rushed for 982 yards and 12 touchdowns. Quarterback Lee Fritz has passed for 892 yards and 9 touchdowns. He's also rushed for over 600 yards and 17 touchdowns. But the leader of the backfield is junior running back Lansford Simpson, a 6'1", 230-pound bruiser who has rushed for over 1,300 yards and 17 touchdowns. Simpson is also one of the leading tacklers on the defense. Winning the WPIAL trophy is the ultimate goal for the Raiders, but there is also another trophy that the Wrecking Crew is looking for.
Tomahawk. This is the arrow this week. There's arrow. There's 12 up there. We put 1 on before the game. There'll be 13 next week. It's not being cocky, but the kids make me do it.
They need not look for any further inspiration than to their leader, Russ Moore, who has a 38-16 record in his 5 years as head coach. How often do you hear a pep talk to a football team come in the form of a poem?
There's some tears. From me to you, the Wrecking Crew. I thank you one. I thank you all. Now we're going to the great big ball. It's time to work. It's time to get it done. You ain't know about it, baby. You're going to be number 1.
Russ Moore, he's quite a character out there at Waynesburg. Hey, whatever works. The kids respond to him, and that's all that matters.
They certainly do. You know, he thinks about these poems during the game, comes up with them, makes them up off the top of the head. You look at the guy's head, you can tell he's a creative character. But I mean, something he's very inspirational to the team and wants to lead them to their first WPIAL title.
5 times in the 90s, Guy Montalvo has had the Washington Little Prexies in the title game. He's done a terrific job there. Went to Penn State, played for Joe Paterno, but they've had a lot of injury problems this year, and they're still not as healthy as they'd like to be going into a title.
No, they're not. They suffered a few injuries. Larry Wingfield and Jason Ellis both had shoulder injuries. Played through them last week. Michael Sutton is one of dynamic playmaker. He had a broken fibula. It hurt him during the early season. He plays with an air cast. It hasn't really affected his play, as you can tell by last week's game, 2 long touchdown passes. But that's something where they have to play through a few of those injuries and really overcome them to beat Waynesburg.
All right, Washington and Waynesburg are coming up next. Stan Savran will have the play-by-play. Steeler Nolan Harrison and Coach Sam LaFazzo along with the color. That's coming up next on Fox Sports Net right after this.
NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net. The pregame show for the serious fan.
It's quick fix time. Fire the coach.
Plus, in-depth analysis and hard-hitting interviews with the game's biggest stars.
I never put my shortcomings on other people.
Go inside the game with our All-Pro team, plus the Fox NFL Sunday game. A full hour of pregame power. NFL This Morning, Sunday on Fox Sports Net, followed by Fox NFL Sunday on your local Fox affiliate.
I'm his biggest fan. What I like best is his aggressive play. He's mean. In fact, I owe my yacht, my beach house, Solid Gold, and my wife's various surgeries, all to the out-of-town referrals that he sends my way. See this gap? You could drive a town car through it. Incidentally, I just bought one, fully loaded. Drives like a dream.
Come on, come on, come on.
Held back by slow phone internet service? Moving display. Try AT&T at home. High-speed cable internet service that's always on with lightning-fast downloads and exclusive multimedia. Sign up now and get free installation plus 1 month free. Call 888-620-HOME. Come on!
It's an ACC Big Ten showdown. The Tigers come calling to battle Jarrett Stevens and the Nittany Lions. Clemson, Penn State, Wednesday at 8 on Fox Sports Net. The WPIAL Championship. Coverage continues all day long on Fox Sports Net. This is Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back to Three Rivers Stadium. It's Championship Saturday on Fox Sports Net. Now the AA Championship between the Raiders of Waynesburg and the Little Prexies of Washington High. Welcome back to Three Rivers. I'm Stan Savran, along with Sam LaFazzo, who's in the nightcap of his doubleheader, and Nolan Harrison. Nolan, in case you get confused, would be the tallest of the three. And in case there's a problem there, Nolan Harrison of the Pittsburgh Steelers joins us for color commentary. First, let's talk about Wash High. Sam, their tradition is remarkable. This is the 5th trip to the WPIAL championship game in the 1990s.
Yes, and Coach Monteclavio has done a very good job with that team. They're traditionally very good, and they got an excellent quarterback in Brent Marcello.
There's no question about that. And remember, these two teams began playing each other in 1905, which was only 2 years before I was born. And they have been playing each other for a long time. Geographically, they're in very close proximity. I hate to use the cliche, but they really don't like each other very much. And Nolan, you've had an opportunity to watch this Waynesburg club, and there's a reason why they're undefeated.
Yeah, the quarterback, Fritz, he's an outstanding athlete, and I consider him a game breaker. And you know, he has the ability to take this game in his own hands. Throwing the ball, running the ball with the option that they run, and also when he was returning punts, he's absolutely deadly. A couple of penalties negated some big games, and could have been 2 touchdowns last week. So I look for him to have a big game. If they can't contain him on Washington's side of the ball, it's going to be real hard for them to win the football game.
Sam, Wash High is smaller. They use an awful lot of motion. Guy Montecalvo likes to run the double wing, all kinds of motion. But again, it all boils down to the guy handling the football, Brent Marsteller.
Yeah, he is 55. He's had 55 completions, 128 attempts for about 1,200 yards, and he just makes great decisions, and that's what I like about him.
The two teams played each other during the regular season, the last game of the regular season, as a matter of fact. And Waynesburg, the undefeated team, won that ball game 25-7, although Wash High had several key offensive performers out in that football game. Waynesburg, this is, it's been a long time coming from them, Nolan. They have not played in the WPIL championship game for 40 years. 1959 is the last time. We talk about their running backs. They're very strong, very tough up front. But as you mentioned earlier, Fritz is the key guy.
He is the key guy, and you know, his decision-making and his leadership on the football field is going to be key. Everything works off of him. So if he's clicking in all cylinders, he's going to have an outstanding football game. As he's showing right here, he can take the ball and do whatever he wants to, basically, with it. So it's going to be a real task for the Washington defense to stop him and make sure that he is not the one that's going to hurt him, make everybody else make plays instead of him.
Well, as is the case in 3 of the 4 games today, these teams are from the same conference. As I mentioned, they played each other in the regular season. Waynesburg got the best of that one, 25-7. Matter of fact, they are seeking to take 3 in a row from Wash High, something that hasn't happened to the Little Prexies in 12 years. When we come back, the kickoff to the AA championship game on Championship Saturday here on Fox Sports Net.
Too late to cook breakfast.
Come on, come on, come on.
Held back by slow phone internet service? Movie on display. Try AT&T at home. High-speed cable internet service that's always on with lightning-fast downloads and exclusive multimedia. Sign up now and get free installation plus 1 month free. Call 888-620-HOME. Come on!
What's the value of $1? Every region has a financial foundation on which careers and aspirations are built. Since 1855, Dollar Bank has invested billions of dollars in millions of lives and thousands of businesses in western Pennsylvania. And by remaining independent, we'll continue for many lives and businesses to come. That's the value of $1.
If you want to get a better read on Pittsburgh, get it from the writers of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
Movies were there. I mean, it was just what I always wanted to do.
I'm a social butterfly, a born party girl, overstimulated, over-entertained, and still having the most fun I've ever had with my earrings on.
I called my column originally The Art Enthusiast, and that's really what you should know about me.
Call 1-800-909-TRIB to start home delivery of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
No time to watch the oven.
The show for football fanatics. NFL, college, even prep. Our all-pro team is all over it. Fox Sports Net Football News, weeknights at 6.
The WPIAL Football Championship on Fox Sports Net are brought to you by AT&T At-Home High-Speed Cable Internet Service. Call 1-888-620-HOME for details. By the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. Get a better read on high school sports in the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. By Dollar Bank, creating a currency of growth and opportunity since 1855. By UPMC Health Systems. Choose your health care as if your life depended on it. By Supercuts, as hip as you want to be. And by the Warner Brothers movie, Any Given Sunday. Stan Savin along with Sam LaFazzo and Nolan Harrison. Teams now coming onto the field. Waynesburg will be dressed in the visiting white jerseys and Wash High in the light blue. Nolan, did you ever play in a high school championship game, and what would it have been like for you growing up in Chicago to play at Soldier Field where the Bears play? And got to put yourself in these kids' position playing where the Steelers play.
I tell you what, I've never been in that situation, but, you know, that was something we were always striving to get to, and it would have been an incredible, incredible feeling to play in Soldier Field. So the emotions have got to be running high for these kids. So this is the pinnacle, and not only are they in the championship game, but they're playing in a place that they all dream that they're going to be playing in their futures. And it's just got to be a great thing, especially for the parents. You know, the pride that the parents have got to be feeling watching their kids play here.
All right, let's go down to the field and listen to the toss of the coin.
When I throw it in the air, I'll catch it. If I drop it, we'll do it again. What are you going to call? It calls tails. It is a head you want in the toss. You defer? Okay. You want the football? Okay, which way do you want to kick? Okay, kick your back.
Well, Waynesburg won the toss of the coin. They have deferred till the second half. Seeing that more and more in college football. Like to see what's going on for the start of the second half. Let me ask you this, Sam. As a coach, took Monaca to the AA championship back in 1975. Does a coach really have to work hard to keep the kids' emotions down? You want them fired up, but playing, you know, before a crowd like this, they're not used to it. Is it difficult to get 17 and 18-year-old kids to kind of calm down and concentrate on the game?
Sure is. You have to really keep them moving and keep them thinking and focused on what we're trying to accomplish during the game, because their natural instincts are they want to celebrate, and their minds are racing all over the place.
Let me ask you this also, and Nolan, this would apply to the Steelers as well. These two teams play each other every year during the regular season. Is it easier to game plan for a team that you've already seen? And indeed, they just played them about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I would say, Billy asked me the same thing last week. I think it was different between Monaca and Southside Beaver because they played the first game and then they're playing here. Where Washington and Waynesburg, they just played 3 weeks ago. I think it's a little bit easier then because you have all of the different preparations and scouting reports leading up to that time.
Definitely. And you know, the biggest thing, you know, all the game plans out the window and everything, what's really going to come down to, as in reference to our game tomorrow against Cincinnati, is the one-on-one matchups. And that's what Coach Cowher is always telling us. You know, when you know a team and you're used to playing against a team every year, the one-on-one matchups become key. If you beat your man, you know, then it's going to be a big play and it's going to be a plus for your football team.
Well, Wash High will kick off. And Waynesburg, indeed, will receive. There you see how Wash High arrived here. Victories over South Park, Center, and a blowout of Brownsville. See, the Center game was a tough one. They had to win 3 games to get here. And for Waynesburg, they beat Shadyside Academy, Quaker Valley, and Aliquippa. That is Guy Montecalvo. He's the head coach at Wash High in his 19th year. His record, 152 wins, 63 defeats, and 2 ties. Interesting story about Guy Montecalvo. He was approached by 2 schools down in Washington County. Cannon McMillan and Trinity both offered him the head coaching job. And after he deliberated, he decided, well, I think I'm going to stay where I'm at. And here he is with his 5th trip to the WPIL championships in the 1990s. Wash High to kick off. Excellent kick coming to Cree at the 1-yard line. This is Bryce Cree. Blocker ahead. He is hit and stopped at the 16-yard line. Outstanding special teams coverage. Coming in to make the tackle was Chet Henderson, who's also the middle linebacker. We'll now see Waynesburg on offense. Lee Fritz is the quarterback. Lanford Simpson, the big fullback, number 31, and Cree, who returned the kickoff, is the tailback. Waynesburg does not pass the ball very often. They only average about 8 passes per game, but that tells you about their running game. This is Lanford Simpson. He is going to lose a yard back inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
Fritz is the quarterback, had a bad handoff there, and you'll notice that it hit the leg of the wingback coming in, and then he landed right back on the ball.
Lee Fritz gets the recovery. It's a loss of, we'll call it a yard, 2nd down and 11.
Last week, Waynesburg's offense started out real excited, and they started out with 2 penalties or offsides, and that's what we were talking about, you know, getting those nerves calmed down, and I got to do that.
This is Fritz on the keeper. Got a hole up inside to the 20, across the 20, not near the 23, 24-yard line. There's a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to come back. It would have been third down and about 4, but we'll wait for the penalty call.
Number 12, Ryan Moy made the tackle.
Ryan is a junior, excellent size, 6'2", 160 pounds.
Holding by the offense. Half the distance penalty. Still second down.
Let's look at the Little Prexy's defense. And this defense has allowed just about 11 points per game. Wingfield, 10.5 sacks this year. Chet Henderson, the middle linebacker. Ward, an outside linebacker. And there's your secondary, Mike Sutton, with 5 interceptions on the season. Second down and 20 from the 7. Fritz on the keeper. He's dead at the line of scrimmage and stopped for no gain. The fake inside to land for Simpson, the fullback. He kept it himself. No gain. It'll be third down and 20. And Chet Henderson, the inside linebacker. He is a junior at 6 feet, 240 pounds. Makes the stop. Third down and forever.
They are playing much, much better, as in Washington, playing much, much better run defense. And the first 6 drives of last week's game, they showed an inability to stop the run. They're doing a much better job starting out in this game.
Fritz has completed 45% of his passes, 9 touchdowns, and he's also thrown 7 interceptions. We'll see if they play it safe here. Third down and 20. Gonna throw over the middle, and it is almost intercepted. Once again, it was Chet Henderson who got his hands on the football. Would have given Washington excellent field position. Nonetheless, they're going to get pretty good field position as it is.
Dan, what I've seen right here with Washington is that Nolan has just mentioned that they're playing almost 9 people in the block. They're saying, go ahead and throw the football. We're stopping the run here.
Here's the punt. Receiver will stay away from it. Jason Ellis will let it roll dead at the 46-yard line of Waynesburg. And so the penalty really hurt Waynesburg. They were close to a first down, pushed them back, forced them to punt out of their own end zone. And now Wash High will have it first and 10 at the Waynesburg 46-yard line. This is Brent Marsteller.
Excellent field position here.
Wash High uses a double wing. You see Vontae Johnson and Ellis are the wing back. Now Sutton, number 32, goes wide to the far side. Here's the keeper by Marsteller. Looking for a block that never came. Give him a couple to the 44-yard line.
Excellent run defense by Waynesburg.
Jeremy Gaiman, the outside linebacker, number 6, made the tackle. Here's the Wash High Little Prexy offensive line. It's a good one.
That's an offensive line, though, that was manhandled for most of the game by Aliquippa last week. They've got to do a better job of getting themselves going, especially with this good field position. They can't do what they did last week and be stopped 6 times, 3 and out.
Sutton, number 32, is their key big play guy. He's a wide receiver. Also, D'Angelo Velez, number 26. Here's a pitch back to Ellis. Ellis has got running room, 30, 25, and finally brought down from behind near the 21-yard line. Lee Fritz, a strong safety, made the tackle for Waynesburg, but that's what that double wing does to you. Jason Ellis picking up big yardage for the first down.
And that was what you're going to see with Washington is the same thing that Southside Beaver ran. They're running the Delaware wing tee with all the motion and the scissors plays and the misdirections and their angle blocking. And at that time, the right tackle pulled and opened up a nice big hole on the left side.
That was Dan Moses, number 76, a heck of a good block. First down and 10 after the gain of 23 yards. Here's the wing back counter. Once again, Ellis got room. He finally brought down at the 10-yard line. That'll be good for another first down and a first and goal as Greg Carson, the middle linebacker, made the tackle. But a pickup of 11 and a first down and goal just inside the 10.
Waynesburg's defense has got to calm down, and they've got to make the sure tackles right there. He was it was a busted tackle, and that gave him an extra 5 yards on that carry. 22 did an awesome job last week. I felt he should have been the starter in the very beginning of the game because number 24 did not do the kind of job that he did. So now I'm glad to see him in there and being productive. And it shows that the coaching staff was aware of who was going to be productive in the game.
Ellison motions. He's following Wingfield. Makes the cut inside to the 7 and down to the 6-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. 2nd down and goal. Let's take a look at that Waynesburg defense. Jason Ellis you're looking at. He's their leading rusher. Came in with 943 yards on the season and 7.7 yards per carry. That'll get you some first downs.
I'll say that's excellent offense right there.
Waynesburg plays the 4-3. 4 deep. Lanford Simpson, I'm in trouble saying that name, is the guy to watch. And he's the big play guy on defense. Number 31, 2nd and goal from the 6. Marsteller looking to the end zone, throwing, and it is incomplete.
Out of bounds. There's a flag on the play there as the receiver was coming across the end zone there, or the end line, or one of the Waynesburg defensive backs knocked him down. I'm sure this is against Waynesburg.
D'Angelo Velez was the intended receiver, number 26. Pass interference is the call. That'll give him a 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line.
I think Washington right now has Waynesburg rattled. They're in a position right now where they're starting to do uncharacteristic things. They're not playing as sound as they were last week. They've really got to settle down. Now, I think it's going to be the job of their captain to get them settled down on defense and play soundly. All the shifts in motion, you can't allow that to affect your play and affect what you're doing.
I'm not so sure that wasn't a touchdown.
It was a touchdown. I thought it was also, Steve. But in the replay, you couldn't see where the receiver was knocked down way before the touchdown, where the pass was received.
Yeah, I thought he got his 1 foot in bounds, but they called it incomplete. Anyway, it's 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. This is Marsteller. He's hit, and he's going to be dropped for a loss back at the 6-yard line. Outstanding play by Jeremy Gaiman, the senior, 6'2", 205, number 6. And so now, almost makes it a short passing down on 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line.
And that's already 2 tackles for Jeremy, so he's doing an outstanding job on that left side over there.
I know, Nolan, you were impressed with Gaiman.
I thought he was. I think he did a good job last week, both offensively and defensively. I think that with his size and his speed, it's going to be hard for Washington to get offside on him. I think as long as he plays sound, he's going to have a good game.
2nd and goal, the ball just inside the 7-yard line. Again, Sutton, number 32, is the leading receiver on this club. Keep your eye on him. This is Ellis on the pitchback. Dragged down from behind after just a yard gain. Again, good penetration by Waynesburg. Rashad Diggs, number 20, the defensive end, made the tackle. It is 3rd down and goal from the 6-yard line.
And they're trying to go outside and pitching the ball, and what they're doing is ending up losing more yardage than what they're gaining. I think you'd be more effective if they go straight at them rather than to try to do the pitching backwards.
Absolutely. I think Waynesburg got too much team speed to run these slow developing plays. If they hit those quick hitters up the middle, I think they'd have more success.
Marsteller has thrown 6 touchdown passes in the last 2 playoff games. Back to throw here. He's rushed. He's back at the 15-yard line.
Absolutely awesome play. Awesome play.
Coming up from his middle linebacker position was Greg Carson, number 51. He records the sack. And now we're going to see a field goal attempt by the Wash High Little Prexy.
And again, Washington starts out. They get a chance to get down there, and they got great field position, and then they end up going 3 and out, and they have to kick a field goal. And this is what happened to them last week, and they've got to start converting these 3rd downs and short. That's the key for them. They got to convert them, or else they're going to have a problem winning this football game on field goals alone.
This is Justin Dragula. He's only a sophomore. This field goal attempt will be 32 yards, angled to the right. Kick is up, and it is
good.
Good job. So, 32-yard field goal by Justin Dragula has put Washington High on top 3-0. They would have loved to have had the 6. They'll take the 3. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment.
Yeah, hi. I got home last night and I found a statement for a visit to my gynecologist. My gynecologist? Yeah, I thought those figures were covered. I'm over my limit? What limit? Well, you know, if I'm eventually going to get to my gynecologist anyway, why do I need a referral?
Doctors have known for years what care a woman needs. Shouldn't your insurance company know the same? UPMC Health Plan. The Super Cut is the I'm the proud grandpa. The I'm proud, but don't call me a grandma. The I'll always be cuter than you. The like father, like son. Whatever you call it, we can cut it. At a price that looks good too. Super Cut. As hip as you want to be.
You're watching the AA WPIAL Championship game on Fox Sports Net, presented by AT&T at-home high-speed cable internet services. A 32-yard field goal by Gagula. Wash High leading 3-0. Waynesburg has won 22 of their last 23 ball games. Last team to beat them a couple years back, Brownsville, who lost in the semis. Wash High with a kickoff and hit hard. On the kickoff return is Craig Bland, one of the wide receivers. And making the tackle was Justin Brown, number 40.
Crushing blow, and that's what you want out of your special teams. And that'll make the running back or the guy that's returning the ball, that'll make him think a little bit for making those jukes when the guys are coming that hard at him.
27-yard line, 1st and 10. Waynesburg hurt by a penalty first time around. Here's the inside handoff to Lanford Simpson. The fullback, he gets 3 to the 30-yard line. Simpson is only a junior. He's 6'3", 235 pounds, and they say he probably is going to get bigger to around 6'5", 250.
He's a great prospect. I mean, he's just absolutely a good-looking athlete.
Wash High, a couple of strong runs into field goal position. They had 1st and goal at the 3, had to settle for the field goal. 2nd down and 7. Fritz with the handoff to Creed. On the counter play, Creed across the 35 and out near a 1st down at the 37, depends on the mark. He may be about a half-yard shy. Brent Marsteller made the tackle for Wash High, knowing that's one of the things you like. You got your quarterback playing defensive end. That's the great thing about high school football.
That is a tough guy. And I was watching him last week, and he was making plays in the backfield and making tackles and also making the spectacular throws. And he was getting hammered in the first half last week. I definitely rate him as one of the toughest players on Washington's football team.
You think we'll see Cordell line up at defensive end Sunday? Any chance of that?
I don't think so, no.
3rd down and a foot, and this is Simpson. He's got the 1st down. He powers his way near the 40-yard line. That'll be good for a couple, and a 1st down.
Waynesburg's offensive line, their key is to dominate. Now, I tell you what, Carson at center, you know, he's an outstanding linebacker for one, but for two, he's so quick off the ball at center. Reminds me a lot of the quickness of Germani, and he gets on those defenders real quick and opens that hole up. So, you know, Simpson's going to have a good game, and when you get an offense that gets people in 3rd and short with a big bruising back like Simpson, it's hard to stop him from converting those 3rd downs.
Of course, Carson is the guy who was the middle linebacker and had the big sack on Marsteller in the previous series. 1st and 10. Rich in trouble, in bigger trouble. Sacked all the way back at the 20-yard line, a loss of 20 yards. Steve Ward, number 52, a senior, led the charge. There were 2 Prexies back there. It's going to be 2nd down and 30.
I'll tell you what, Washington came in with the idea that they're going to put 9 people in the box, and they're going to put some pressure on, and if you can throw it, God bless you.
Right there, I just think you have to get rid of the football. You can't take that kind of a loss. And to me, that's uncharacteristic of Fritz's play. I think you've got to get rid of the football or maybe try to find the check down and make a better decision right there.
Let's give credit to Tom Giles, number 79. He's only a sophomore, 6'2", 2 1/4. He led the charge. 2nd down and 30. Fritz firing sideline. Intercepted. The ball inside the 30-yard line by D'Angelo Velez. The senior corner makes the interception. It is his 1st of the year, and it gives Washington 1st down and 10 at the Waynesburg 28-yard line. Fritz, his 8th interception of the season.
You
And this is, once again, excellent field position for Washington. And, you know, the first quarter to have that kind of field position and be in a position to put Waynesburg on their heels is just out of sight.
Let me ask you this, Sam. Wash High, this is their 5th WPIL championship game in this decade. Waynesburg has not played in this game since 1959. These kids, their parents weren't even born.
You're right.
How much extra pressure is there in a school that hasn't been here?
You're absolutely right. It's a lot of pressure, and being here for the first time is added pressure.
Marcello looking to take advantage. Shrugs off a tackler, throws incomplete. The receiver was open, but the pass was behind him. The pass intended for wingback Jason Ellis. Ryan Chapman.
The initial pressure put on the quarterback by Brandon Doublehour, and he had a good game. He's a big guy. He also plays offensive tackle for Waynesburg, and he did a good job penetrating in there. They've got to do a job of blocking him because I noticed numerous times last week where he was penetrating and causing havoc in the backfield, and that's what you want from an interior lineman.
Marsteller, his first pass of the ball game, had his man open. So keep that in mind. A guy Montecalvo will. 2nd down and 10 from the 28. Straight motion this time from Ellis. Gets wide to Wingfield, the fullback. He gets short yardage inside the 30 from the 26-yard line. A gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7. And a reminder that coming up Tuesday on Sports Beat, our special interview with Jason Kendall. It's a 2-parter. Guy Junker was out in Los Angeles last weekend talking to Kendall about his rehabilitation, his ankle, how's he doing. And we've got a 2-parter for you beginning Tuesday night on Sports Beat, continuing Wednesday night on Sports Beat. Hope you'll join us for that. I'm interested in learning about his progress as well because his future certainly is key to the Pirates. 3rd down and 7. Marsteller straight drop. Rush avoids the rush. Throws to the corner. Incomplete. Pass intended on the far side for Michael Sutton. And you saw the respect that Waynesburg was showing Michael Sutton with double coverage. Bryce Cree, the nearest defensive back to him, although he was open. It is 4th down and 7. Probably out of field goal range here.
I would think so. I think they're going to go ahead and throw a pass or do something that's unusual, but I was asking Nolan here, I'm really impressed with Marcello's ability to stay in the pocket, move up in the thing, not get panicked, and deliver the football.
He's not exactly the fastest guy in the world, but he's got great pocket presence, and he does what you want your quarterback to do, move left and right just enough to get that ball off.
4th down and 7. Marcello, quick drop over the middle, and it is incomplete. Once again, the receiver was open. The pass intended for Ellis, but it goes incomplete, and so the interception by D'Angelo Velez goes for naught, and Waynesburg will take over 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line.
That's 2 times in a row, 2 big stars for Waynesburg make a play. The last play before that, it was number 31, Lamper Simpson, getting great pressure on the quarterback. This time, it was Greg Carson from behind getting pressure, breathing down the quarterback's neck, both times forcing bad tosses.
So you see Guy Montecalvo. He has been around the block. 19th season at Wash High. 3 in motion, Simpson. Big hole up the middle of the 30. 35 and out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. A 15-yard gain and a 1st down for Waynesburg. Mickey Mansfield finally made the tackle for Wash High, but not before Simpson gets a 15-yard gain, and he averages over 7 per carry.
I'll say one thing, that kid has great body lean, real powerful. He runs into the seams and keeps his head up, and he did a really nice job picking up those 15 yards.
Great blocking downfield by number 6, Damon.
1st and 10. Waynesburg, their 2nd first down of the ball game. Here's the counter handoff. Screen going nowhere for half the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain. 2nd and 10. Lamper Simpson lives on a farm. His parents are farmers, and he does the chores. He gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning and, milks cows and gets run over by them. And you'll appreciate this, Nolan. He wears a size 16 shoe, even bigger than you. It's amazing. He gets this kid a job in the vineyard stomping some grapes.
I tell you what, if he continues to grow like he is, at 15, I had size 15s. It's going to be frightening what this kid's going to be like in college.
And never in trouble in a snowstorm. Fritz got the corner wide open, 45, 50. Needs one block. He starts to the 40, to the 35, and he's finally down at the Wash High 31-yard line. Ryan Moy, the safety, number 12, saved a touchdown. But Lee Fritz who averages 7.5 yards per carry as the quarterback picks up big yardage and a first down at the 31.
Excellent deception with riding the fullback in there and then taking it outside and just cutting it down the sideline. And he jumped over a kid to keep it for another 5 or 6 yards. He's a good athlete.
Bad news for the conference members. Lee Fritz is only a junior. Bryce Tree behind Simpson. He stopped for no gain at the 31-yard line. Outstanding defensive play by Jason Ellis, number 22. It'll be second down and 10. He's got 25 seconds to play in the first quarter. Wash High leading 3-0.
Right there, I think Tree has got to follow his blocker. He had a good block that time by Lanford Simpson. If he'd have picked up speed, he'd have hit that corner, and I think he would have definitely gained at least 5 or 6 yards on that play.
Simpson just body crushed that kid. I mean, he knocked him right, he pancaked him.
5 seconds remaining. Have to hurry to get this off before the quarter. They do. Simpson bulldozed his way for about 4 yards to the 27. A tackle made by Ryan Moore, the junior safety, and that will be the end of the first quarter of play. You're watching the WPIAL AA Championship game. The score at the end of 1 quarter of play. Washington 3, Waynesburg nothing. Back with the second quarter right after this.
Yep, it's takeout time. What if Hollywood didn't spend money on special effects?
No.
Watch them do it right on TLC. See how the pros really make big budget blockbusters. Closer than ever before. Watch the masters create maximum fear, pump the adrenaline, and set up big bets. You are there. The action never stops with ultimate special effects. Sunday starting at 8 on TLC. I can see that.
This is not a range. This is the fiery precision and impeccable timing of doing the rumba with a very, very, very good dancer. The Dual Fuel Series, the 13,000 BTU power burner, electric convection oven, warming drawer, a pulse racing pairing that raises a very unique kind of heat. Introducing Kenmore Elite. Too late to cook breakfast.
The WPIAL Championship coverage continues all day long on Fox Sports Net.
I'm his biggest fan. What I like best is his aggressive play. He's mean. In fact, I owe my yacht, my beach house, solid gold, and my wife's various surgeries, all to the out-of-town referrals that he sends my way. See this gun? You could drive a town car through it. Incidentally, I just bought one, fully loaded. Drives like a dream.
The bull riding beauty. Sunday at 9 on Fox Sports Net.
I hated TV timeout.
First game, he found a lucky penny, heads up, put it in his right shoe. After the season, his dog eats it. He waits for the dog to pass the penny so he gets his back. Now, I understand that you have a dog by the name of Precious, and I know you carry a lot of money. Hopefully, you don't leave your loose change around the house.
I wish that dog would swallow that loose change. Didn't get her through a metal detector at the airport. Tree is stopped for a couple in 4-down territory. It'll be 4th down and 5 yards to go for Waynesburg. Russ Moore, interesting story. He takes that hat off. He's got 12 tomahawk tattoos on his head. One for each Waynesburg victory. This is Fritz. Roll back, throwing deep into the end zone. Incomplete. The pass intended for Bland. Incomplete coverage by both Ryan Moy and D'Angelo Velez. And so Washington will take over on downs. Things pretty even in the first half. Really, the only difference is the field goal.
And I think that Washington is going to be, they didn't take advantage in the first quarter of the fact that they had the ball inside Waynesburg's territory here and only came away with 3 points. I think it's going to end up telling a tale a little bit later on.
You have to take advantage of turnovers and great field position when you're on offense.
Inside handoff, and big running room for Vontae Johnson. He gets it outside the 40 to the 42-yard line. Cree made the tackle. Something that Wash High is doing, they hadn't shown before, is putting both of their biggest offensive linemen on one side. Dan Moses and Chet Henderson, the biggest guys they have, they're running an unbalanced line and because they don't have the kind of size to deal with Waynesburg.
And that could be the difference right here. Absolutely. And if Waynesburg does not adjust to that, they're going to continue to test them. And until they stop them, they're going to continue to get a big dose of that running game that way.
Actually, Wash High lost its number one running back, Justin Martinsic, with a broken collarbone, although he may suit up today. This is Jason Ellis. Makes a good cut inside. There wasn't much there, but he managed to pick up 5 pretty much on his own. Tim Clevenger, senior defensive tackle, number 72, made the stop for the Raiders, but Ellis picked up a solid 5 yards to make it 2nd down and 5.
And it seems like when Washington goes right at them from tackle to tackle, they're moving the ball effectively, and then all of a sudden, and they get out of sync, and then they want to go wide on them, and they can't do it.
They can't do it. You got to stick with the game plan that's working. I've always believed as an offense, you continue to do things that are working well for you, and then when they stop it, then you try something else.
The whistle moving on the line of scrimmage.
You have to force the defense to adjust to what you're doing. And especially when you look at the high school game, I consider the same thing as in the pro game. You know, when we adjust to an offense, they automatically switch up to something else, a good offensive team. If they don't, then we'll continue to stop them. They won't gain anything at all.
Illegal motion. That'll move it back 5, then take away what Ellis gained and make it 2nd down and 10. Just underway in the second quarter. 10:26 to play in the first half. In case you're kind of new to the high school game or only watch the championships, they play 12-minute quarters here in high school football. So we're just underway in the second. Wash High leading 3-0. Marsteller still looking for his first completed pass of the day. Again, they don't throw much. Statue of Liberty play, and it's going absolutely nowhere. Waynesburg was right there. Wingfield was the ball carrier, but safety Matt Emmerich, number 42, he was there, wasn't fooled for a minute.
Great heads-up play.
Emmerich, he saw it coming all the way. Matter of fact, the entire left side of the defensive line saw it was coming as well. Tim Clevenger also making great penetration. The loss is back to the 34-yard line, and that'll make it 3rd down and 17.
That's a great example of doing what your job is and not trying to do someone else's. That's the position he was supposed to be in. He had outside force, and that's what he did.
Great drop. He passed over the middle, and it is caught for a 1st down at the 37-yard line. Boy, the ball seemed to hang up there forever, but nonetheless, Marsteller was on target, and he hits D'Angelo Velez. Velez averaging 27.5 yards per reception, just made that average go up.
And I'll tell you one thing, he put that right on the numbers. It seemed like it was up forever, but he cut right in front and caught it in his hands. And
perfect pass, however, it's coming back. There's a flag way back at the 34-yard line, which was the line of scrimmage. Procedure, again, against Washington.
Despite that penalty, I'm so glad to see Mr. Johnson playing well this week. He did not have a good game last week, and you could see the frustration on his face. And, he's producing now. And, again, Marsteller with another big play. It's called back for a penalty, but that's his big play ability. And I think if Waynesburg has got to contain him and got to get pressure on him so he can't stand back there and make those big plays.
Illegal formation was the call. And that takes away that big completion, which not only would have given them a 1st down at the 32-yard line, but also if they fail to convert, it's going to change the field position greatly. Waynesburg has only allowed 9 points per game. Every point is critical. Marsteller looking deep down the sideline for Sutton, but that's going to be way out of bounds. Never a chance on that one, and Let's look back to that illegal formation penalty. That changed everything, and see what happens here after the exchange.
That's a momentum breaker right there. They had the ball on about the 30, and now they're going to have to be forced to punt here.
Those are mental mistakes that you can't make. You know, it just deflates the team. You make a great pass and a great catch, and the sidelines get all excited, and then boom, it just deflates when you realize that someone else has caused you to lose yardage.
Justin Gragula, who's responsible for the 3 points with his 32-yard field goal, is averaging 30.4 yards per punt. Lee Fritz, back deep.
Here's the kid. Watch out for Lee Fritz. He's a big playmaker if he gets good blocking downfield, but this is not going to allow him to do that.
Good roll for Waynesburg, and Wash High will take over at its own 35-yard line. 8:51 to play in the first half. Wash High 3, Waynesburg nothing.
Are you having it?
Come on. Come on.
Held back by slow phone internet service. You win this play. Try AT&T at home. High-speed cable internet service that's always on with lightning-fast downloads and exclusive multimedia. Sign up now and get free installation plus 1 month free. Call 888-620-HOME. Come on!
What's the strength of a dollar? Money is economic energy. When distributed, it has the power to fuel all manner of enterprise. Since 1855, Dollar Bank has invested billions of dollars in millions of lives and thousands of businesses in western Pennsylvania, creating a currency of growth and opportunity. That's the strength of a dollar.
You're watching the AA WCIL Championship game on Fox Sports Net, presented by AT&T at-home high-speed cable internet services. And the fake pitch and the handoff inside to Simpson, and he gets big yardage to the 50 down to the 48-yard line.
Well, Corey Board was called the truck in the first game, and this guy must be the semi because he is really powerful.
You got to stay true to your game on the backside of a defense. You can't fall for the fake. You got to play true on the backside, or else big plays like that are going to happen, especially when you have a guy like Lanford Simpson, who you know they're going to hand the ball off to, and you know he's going to pick up big yardage. You got to stay true backside.
Simpson now, 5 carries, 43 yards in the regular season game between these two, which Waynesburg won. He had 148 yards. This is Simpson again. And Simpson picked up good yardage. 5 to the 43-yard line, where it'll be second down, and 5 for the Raiders.
Same thing backside, you know, and like I said before, if something's working for an offense, you continue to run it until they prove they can stop it. They ran the same play, just a reverse formation.
Simpson is only a junior, making plenty of all-star teams, making all-star teams as much as a linebacker as a running back. This season, he rushed for 1,350 yards. That's 3 in motion to the far side. Fritz on the keeper, wide open up the middle, inside the 35 to the 34-yard line, and that gain of 9 yards will give Waynesburg a first down at Washington's 34-yard line. Tackle by safety Ryan Moy. He is a junior at 6'2", 161 pounds.
If he don't make that tackle, Fritz is in the end zone.
Everybody ganging up on the fullback, Simpson. And we've got a timeout on the field. 7:48 to play in the first half. That is Russ Moore, and that is Guy Manicalvo, head coach for Washington. Russ Moore is an interesting story. We mentioned about those tomahawk tattoos on his head. He shaves his head, just like you did last year, Nolan. I expect to see some tomahawk in your head next season. But the kids like it, and he puts a new one on for every victory. He's got 12 on there, and he says there's plenty of room for number 13.
Well, he definitely has plenty of room, and he was just excited as his kids are for coming into Three Rivers and playing in the big house. And you know, I was watching him after the game, and it's great to see a coach that's that into the game and that, you know, and sharing and enjoying being with his kids and you know, doing little things like that. I tell you, is key for installing leadership and people wanting to follow you.
He's in his 5th year, and a record of 38-16 has really turned this program around. 2nd and 5 from the 34-yard line. Free again in short motion. This is Fritz on the keeper. Gets outside. to the 30. And inside the 30, you're the 27-yard line. It'll be third down and a yard. A reminder, this Sunday morning and every Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, it's NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net. Jackie Slater and Marv Levy and Chris Spielman and all the gang get you ready for the NFL action. That's tomorrow morning at 11 and every Sunday morning on Fox Sports Net Pittsburgh.
One of my key matchups for this game was Washington's defense. Their front seven has got to stop Fritz, Simpson, and Kreese. And as you see, they're hurting them now.
Simpson got the first down and then some. Still on his feet, driving his way to the 22-yard line. The pickup is 5 yards and a first down. So Waynesburg, after some very jittery early moments in the game, Sam, appear to have calmed down. Nothing calms you down than having success on the ground.
Absolutely, and they're just chunking it out, and you know, with Simpson right there, and then Fritz following right behind them, and they're just taking turns. And Washington's defense just totally baffling me because they just got everybody in the box.
Here's Kreese, got a hole inside the 20 and down to the 16-yard line. Gain of about 6 to make it second down and 4. Don't be fooled by this Waynesburg offense, although it's primarily a ground offense. They average 37 points a game this year, so they can move, and they do have a big, strong offensive line. I know Washington was concerned about the size disadvantage their defensive line against Waynesburg's offensive line.
You know, the coach said last week that they weren't intending on passing the ball as much as they did last game against Brownsville, so I really think that it's huge for them to be able to run the football against a team that has been shown not to be able to stop the run.
Here's Simpson. He's a load. Tough to bring down. He gets to the 14, which will bring up a third down and 2. First man on the tackle was Mickey Mansfield. He's a senior, number 87. Third down and 2 for Waynesburg, trailing 3-0. The clock running, 5:50 to play in the first half.
It's unbelievable that with almost going through the second period, and we only have 3 points scored with these two high-powered offenses. I'd have never thought that was going to happen in this game.
Waynesburg 1 for 3 on third down conversions. But Washington High, in 12 games, has only given up 53 points in the first half of those games. So they've been tough in the first half. Here's Simpson driving his way inside the 10 and down near the 5-yard line for a first and goal. Just powering his way behind the center. Greg Carson, also the right guard, Brandon Doppelhoyer, and tackled Tyler Everett, just blowing Washington off the line of scrimmage.
Outstanding block by the fullback, and then downfield looking at Greg Carson, get that block on the linebacker or the safety coming up. And if you get blocking like that downfield, no matter what size of a back you have and no matter what skill, he's going to gain yards.
Matt Yemrich, number 42, was the lead back on the play. Tremendous block at the point of attack. First and goal, Waynesburg, deepest penetration. They trail 3-0. Simpson walks into the end zone. Nice fake by the quarterback, Fritz. Simpson waltzes into the end zone, and a heck of a good drive by Waynesburg, and they take the lead at 6-3.
That was a really, really nice play right up the middle, and a great blocking. Waynesburg's offensive line is getting a tremendous start.
I don't understand, as a defensive coach, why you leave the middle open against a team like this when you know the mean of their yardage is going to come down the middle. They're going to come right up the gut at you. You got to think that you got to have those guys bring those linebackers up a little bit closer, or put somebody over the center to make them go outside and get these backs going sideways. They're not going to be able to stop the run if they keep on letting these holes open like this.
Adam right out with the extra point. There is Lansford's system. Simpson, he is only a junior. That is his 8th rushing touchdown of the season, and now Waynesburg has a 7-3 lead.
Dan, I had Lansford for 176 carries, 1,352 yards, and 17 TDs.
I missed the mark. I think I ran out of ink and just put 7 down. That sounds more like it.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding. And it's scary, like you said earlier, that he's getting actually more attention as a linebacker than he is as a running back because he's just a bruiser. He's one of those Larry Zonka type guys. He's one of those Franco Harris type guys. One of those guys when you see him go up the middle and maybe you see John Madden making a boom, 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 boom. That's the only sound effect that you hear.
Now the scoring drive, impressive, 65 yards. 9 plays, ran off 3:55 off the clock. Simpson with a 5-yard, make it a 6-yard touchdown run. His 18th touchdown of the season. And now Waynesburg with the 7-3 lead. And again, Sam, you pointed out that Wash High in scoring territory 3 times in the first quarter, settled for only 3 points.
And that's going to be critical here. When they had their chance, they should have taken advantage of it. They didn't, and now Waynesburg has the momentum. And
right out with the short kick, but it worked. Wash High mishandles the football, and they're going to pay the price and have to start out deep in their own territory, just outside the 15-yard line. Right out kick was very short, but Washington let it bounce, and you can't do that on a kickoff. And so the Little Prexies now will have about 80-some yards to go for a touchdown, which would give him the lead.
Let the ball bounce right between his legs, and great job of coverage by the Waynesburg coverage team.
That's D'Angelo Velez, who was one of the up men on the kickoff. Let it get by him, and that'll cost him probably about 20 yards in field position. Right out the kicker came down to help make the tackle. First and 10 from just outside the 15. Marsteller in the flat, pass is caught. Nice move by Sutton, who gets it to the 25, 26-yard line, close to a first down and out of bounds. Cree, playing at the corner, pushed him out of bounds, but a nice move may have given Wash High a first down.
Michael Sutton is their stud, and they got to find ways of getting him the football. In a big game like this, I would even try making the guy running back and putting him in the backfield. He's been the one that's been the most productive, and you got to find ways to get him the football somehow.
You're absolutely right, Nolan.
Sutton suffered a stress fracture in his leg this year and didn't start playing until the midway point of the season. They've had a lot of injuries on this club. Sutton got healthy about the midway point of the season, and he's been a big contributor. He had 2 touchdown catches last week. They are about 6 inches short. It'll be second down and very short yardage for Washington. Washington High, we talked about injuries. Ellis is playing with a separated shoulder that he suffered last week. And Larry Wingfield, the fullback, number 35, he's playing with a dislocated shoulder.
Wow.
So they're toughing it out.
Last week, Larry Wingfield was the guy on their offense that gave him the spark. You know, they went 3 and out 6 times in a row, and then as soon as the second half opened up in that game against Aliquippa, they started running Wingfield, and he started making plays, and he really sparked that offense. And he's gutting it out today, but this is a big show, so he's got to.
Second down and 6 inches, maybe a down to play with. Vontae Johnson gets a block, gets outside, and will also get out of bounds with the first down. First down, Washington. Good block by Tommy Sapula, number 58. He enabled Johnson to get to the corner and pick up the first down. There's the pull right there by Sapula. Steals off the inside pursuers. They pick up a nice 6 yards and a first down just across the 30.
Good job by Vontae Johnson following the blockers. In this game, on offense, you have to be patient as a running back, follow the blockers, and those are where the big plays come from.
Here's the fake counter play. Marsteller looking, throwing, and it is incomplete. Pass was a bit high, intended for Sutton. Had he looked, he had a receiver wide open about 10 yards further downfield. Lee Fritz broke up the pass.
That was a devastating hit, and Sutton's still down on the ground right now.
Sutton is a senior, not very big. It's 5'10", 150 pounds. Only had 15 receptions coming into this game, but remember, in this half of the season, because he had a broken leg.
Yeah, I have him down for 15 receptions for 436 yards and 7 TDs.
Pretty good work for a half a season.
Oh, sure is.
Well, there's another one of those quarterbacks making a big play. We got one quarterback who plays defensive end, the other one playing strong safety, Lee Fritz, who's got great size, 6'2", 180 pounds. He's a junior. He'll be back for one more year.
delivers a big hit on Sutton. That's going to be scary. Not only is he coming back one more year, but you know the kid's going to grow, and he's going to be bigger and stronger next year. So, and he plays outstanding both ways. I have a lot of respect for both of these quarterbacks. Of course, you know, I have to like Marcel a little bit more just because of the fact that he plays defensive end and plays quarterback. So not only is he a glory boy, but he's a grunt like me. So you got to love that.
You know, the other thing is, too, is that Waynesburg only has 4 starters on offense graduating. They're liable to be back here next year.
That's going to be a great thing for them. And you need the guys who are backing up or are standing on the sidelines, they get great experience watching the guys who are in their positions right now.
It's Michael Sutton, and he's coming off with some aid. His right leg. Let's see if we can't get a report.
That right leg looks like it's heavily casted up. I don't know if that's a brace of some type or it's a soft cast on it. I noticed that in last week's game, and I take it that's to protect that fracture that he had earlier in the year.
There you see it right. No one's talking about that exactly, the protection. It looks like that's exactly where Fritz got him. Inside handoff to Ellison. He escaped one tackle, but he loses his footing. That was Lanford Simpson who just charged in, got the great penetration, and in essence stopped the play for no gain to bring up 3rd down and 10.
Lanford has really done a nice job offensively, but it's just like Nolan said before, his defensive abilities are just as good as his offensive abilities.
Dan Moses got up limping a little bit. He had an outstanding game last week, and he was another guy that helped spark their victory. He recovered a fumble, and defensively he was one of the main guys in there trying to get things started for him along with Tom Giles.
He is their biggest offensive lineman at 255 pounds. 3rd down and 10. Marsteller, he's going to be sacked inside the 25-yard line. Immediate penetration by Greg Carson, and hasn't he made a number of big plays already? That's his 2nd sack. It'll bring up 4th down and very long yardage, and with 3:30 to play in the half, Waynesburg's going to get another opportunity to score.
And nobody touched him. I mean, he came in free. There was not even a hint of anybody blocking him.
Vontae Johnson, when you have a lot of motions like that and you got a blitzing defense, when that guy turns back around and he can't get the guy who he's supposed to pick up, big plays happen like that. And that's what happens when you start having these motioning offenses. When you got guys moving one way, and it's hard to make them change direction to go back to pick somebody up.
Good pump by Gragula. This is Fritz to the 50, 45, looks to the sideline, and is knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line. And so, with 3 minutes exactly to play in the first half, Waynesburg set up pretty nicely. What a series it was, not only for Carson, but Fritz. He makes the big hit, and then he returns the punt to the 42-yard line. Mansfield made the tackle, but not before Waynesburg gets to the Washington 42-yard line, 1st and 10. There's a feeling that Waynesburg's starting to feel a little bit here, and this is a critical part of the ball game. If Waynesburg were to push one in here, it would be very difficult for Washington to come back in the second half, although they were down to Aliquippa last week.
Absolutely.
Damon in motion, number 6. Free. Hole on the right side to the 39, perhaps the 38-yard line, a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Jason Ellis made the tackle for the Little Prexy.
The thing I like most about Waynesburg's offense, especially their running backs, is they fall forward. Now, we're taught in the pros to hit these guys and knock them back. If you let a running back fall forward, he's going to gain an extra 1 or 2 yards. And when it's 3rd and short, that's what you want to be in a situation that's perfect for an offense when you get 3rd and short.
Damon motion near side on 2nd down. Fritz throwing over the middle, and it is caught near 1st down territory. The pass complete to the tight end Derek Mears, number 32. Very close to the 1st down. Depends on the mark. Steve Ward made the tackle. It's short of the 1st down. 3rd down, less than a yard.
Great job of play faking by Fritz here. Absolutely no one knows. And a great job of bringing the ball in, looking the ball in, and trying to get as much positive yardage as possible. Good tackle right there.
Steve Ward is really a nice linebacker. He reads really well and does a great job of maintaining his feet.
Here's the inside handoff, and it's going nowhere. They'll lose yardage back to the 35. Undoubtedly, Waynesburg will go for it here, but they're going to have a good 3 yards to pick it up. Wingfield and Mansfield making the tackles and the penetration for Washington. And now Waynesburg will call a timeout on 4th down and 3 to decide what it is they'd like to do. There's Larry Wingfield. And remember, He's playing with a partially dislocated shoulder.
I think it would be a big mistake right now if they go ahead and try to get this. I mean, they're ahead in the game. They got everything going for them. I wouldn't risk turning the ball over to them by doing something very dumb. I'd punt the ball away and let them go the full length of the field here.
Absolutely. You pin them down in their part of the territory, and you make them run the field. You make them go the long field and score a touchdown on you. And the way their defense is playing, that's going to be very difficult. But I think Washington's got to do exactly what they just did. They've got to start putting pressure up. They got to start bringing people up and, run the risk and let that guy pass the ball. You got to let Fritz try to beat you downfield. And right now it looks like Waynesburg is committed to running the football, and you've got to commit to stop him on defense. This bend but not break technique is not working for him. And, it worked for him last game, and they ended up holding on and winning against Aliquippa. But I don't think they're going to be able to stand up in the long haul trying to play that type of defense against Waynesburg.
Well, we're seeing a chess match here because Russ Moore sent the punting unit onto the field. As soon as they came out and lined up in punt formation, Washington High called timeout. They just want to see what they're going to do. So Wash High calls timeout. Now, Russ Moore's gone back to a different unit. So I don't know how long this can continue. At some point, they've got to snap it. There's 1:32 to play in the first half. I would imagine, Sam, if it were 4th and 1 as opposed to 4th and 3, they would have been tempted to go for it.
Yeah.
But 3 yards is long.
Absolutely. 4 yards is tremendously different than 1 yard. Especially if this is a critical junction in the game. I mean, there's only 1:32 left. You don't have to do anything stupid. You're winning the game. Put the ball in the other person's court and let them make the decision.
Well, it looks like they're going to go for it.
Either that or it's short punt formation. Yep. Fritz is going to give him the quick kick. And the ball will hit. Takes a great Waynesburg roll. They down it.
Outstanding play.
At the 1 yard line.
Outstanding play.
They're going to give it to at the 1 yard line.
That is a great job. That quick kick is something I think we should bring back into the pros because, Cordell can do that. I don't see why we don't do that sometimes. Just quick kick it, put it down in there, do a little food punt.
That's Brian Chapman, who's got great balance. He might get a job as a tightrope walker one of these days in the circus. Watch him. He's got to hold his position.
Well, they've been watching Walt Harris because Walt does that with Pitt, and I've seen him do it 3 or 4 or 5 times already, go line up the quarterback in short punt formation and then just kick the ball and keep him off balance.
That's a great job by them to do that thing. Now they're pinned, and here we're looking for a safety. Here right now, if I'm a defensive lineman, I'm snorting because I want to try to get that safety.
And Washington's got to be very careful with the football. Straight handoff this time, no counteraction. And Wingfield is hit just outside the goal line. Waynesburg signaling they've got a safety, but forward progress, and now Russ Moore wants to call for a timeout. He'll have 1 remaining. He's hoping to force them at least to punt 1 time.
That's really a good call right there.
Yep.
I mean, we put it in there. They are exactly where he wants them to be.
Well, it's unfortunate that he had to use the timeout before the punt. Otherwise, he would guarantee that he'd get the ball back. Straight handoff to Wingfield, and he barely gets out that line of scrimmage, and there's who? Lanford Simpson.
Barely. And I tell you what, he's having an outstanding football game. Face up, to put a big back like that and push him backwards. I think that's a great job.
You know what? It's not a good week to be talking about would-be safeties in this town. That's what happened in Nashville. Whistle and a flag. We have a delay of game, I believe. Yep, delay of game. Now, the penalty on this can't be but 1.5 inches.
I don't think the ball can go back anymore.
I don't think it's even 1.5 inches.
You award him a safety on a penalty. There you go.
And part of the problem here for Wash High has been that their average starting position here in the second quarter has been their 14-yard line. And really, there's only been 1 sustained drive all ball game.
You're exactly right.
See, that's where special teams is key. And people don't understand how important special teams is to a football game because they're the #1 starting play for the offense and the defense. And if they don't perform well, you put your offense and defense in terrible positions. Right now, Waynesburg special teams is doing an outstanding job, and they're putting them in great positions to do some wonderful things in this football game.
Sam, if you're calling the play here, you just call for a quarterback sneak because with only 1 timeout remaining, only 30 seconds on the clock, unless there's a fumble. Waynesburg's not going to get the ball back here. So would you not even want to risk a handoff?
I wouldn't even think about risking a handoff. I just want that offensive center just to give me a little bit of space. I just want to get out of there as quickly as I can. I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want to turn the ball over.
And as a defensive lineman, Nolan, you looking to strip the ball here?
Absolutely. I'm looking to get as much penetration as possible and get my hands on that football. And, you know, the size of Waynesburg's defensive line is they're going to have a hard time moving them off the ball. They converted 3 or 4 of these last week. Washington did against Aliquippa, converted 4th downs in short like this. So this is going to be interesting to see which line is going to win, who's going to dominate.
Now the inside players, Doppelhoyer and Clevenger, average 260. They're going to throw. The pass is incomplete. The pass is intended for Velez. It's actually not a bad play, although it could give possession back to Waynesburg and force him to punt. We'll see what happens on 3rd down and 10.
That was a good job by Tim Clevenger to go up the middle, number 72. I actually ended up getting held, but the referee didn't see it. He did a good job getting pressure on the quarterback immediately and forcing that quick throw.
Those officials never see defensive linemen getting held.
They never see holding. I never understand that. They see if
maybe if you guys didn't complain about it every single play and try Wolf every play, you might get one once in a while.
Hey, we are not the biggest complainers. I tell you what, those quarterbacks, hey, ref, he's hitting me. Ref, he's breathing down my neck. Ref, he called my mother something.
3rd down and 10. Arcello's going to throw it. Pass is incomplete. Off the hands of the receiver. Fritz was in the area. That's D'Angelo Velez. And Fritz was right there waiting for the interception, but the deflection forced it away. Now, Washington will be forced to punt. Well, 21 seconds to play.
Coach Montecalvo, I mean, that's a very, 2 times in a row, he had very risky decisions to throw the football. But if you don't complete them, now you really pin your punting team back in there.
And you save the timeout for your opponent.
Exactly right.
Well, Gragula will punt. He's got only 11 yards, barely 11 yards, with which to kick. Fritz is standing at his own 30.
Almost blocked.
High, but short. Look at Fritz at the 25, to the 20, to the 15. He's down at the 11-yard line, and with 11 seconds to play in the half, Waynesburg will have at least 1 shot in the end zone, maybe 2.
Outstanding running. Like I said, Fritz is a game breaker. He does an outstanding job with punt return. You look at him right here, and, you know, only 1 block. If the guy gets 1 block, he's in the end zone. He does a good job of carrying that tackler downfield and gets an extra 5 or 6 yards. And I tell you, that's where that size comes in.
Just fielding the ball, Nolan. I mean, a lot of high school players wouldn't even try to field the ball. I mean, just having the presence of fielding the ball and then making the play.
He's a gamer. And you look at him, he's only a junior.
Adam Rideout, number 9, is the place kicker. Keep that in mind. Whistle before the snap. And if it is against Waynesburg, it could be a critical 5 yards if you're thinking field goal.
It is. Pre-snap penalties kill you. They derail your momentum, and it hurts you offensively and defensively. It's defense, it's usually the offside penalties. For offense, it's the illegal motion. And those things kill you. You can't give up cheap yardage like that.
What do you call here, Stan? 1 pass in the end zone and try the field goal?
Definitely. I'm throwing it in the end zone and see what happens, and I'm not going to make any mistakes.
Remember, the clock stops on the 1st down if that should come into play. Fritz looking, ball is tipped up in the air, and it is incomplete, almost intercepted. Ellis was coming over there. Brent Marsteller, the defensive end and the starting quarterback, tipped the ball as he dropped back in coverage. That brings up 2nd down with 6 seconds to play. We're able to see the field goal attempt right now.
I think you're right.
See the ball tipped at the line of scrimmage.
And that's the kind of pressure Washington's got to come with if they want to have a chance of winning this football game and coming back.
Now, Lanford Simpson is going to attempt this field goal of 32 yards. Kick is up.
That's it.
It is good.
The kid can do it all.
He can do it all. They use Rideout on extra points and shorter field goals, but in high school, 32 yards, pretty good boot. We've seen 2 of those. And again, the decision by Guy Montecalvo to pass at his own goal line ends up costing him 3 points.
He did it twice, and then he put himself in the hole by having a short punt like that. Fritz fields the ball and takes it down, and there's an extra 3 points on the scoreboard.
Just inside the upright. It's Simpson's second field goal of the season. Is there anything that he hasn't done?
Right now, Coach Russ Moore is winning the brain game, as you call it. Right now, he's definitely out coaching Coach Guy Malavallo.
So this should be a swift kick. Official clock with 1 second to play in the half. Remember, these two teams did meet during the regular season, and Russ Moore's team, you're watching there, won it 25-7. But it's only a touchdown differential. Russ Moore will be one of our halftime guests. Again, this is Waynesburg's first appearance in the championship game since 1959 when they lost to Braddock. Sam, I would imagine that Chuck Clousey was probably coaching at Braddock in 1959.
1959, and I was a junior on that team.
Were you?
So I know exactly.
You remember that game?
I remember that game exactly.
Well, that is the end of the first half. Washington took a 3-0 lead, but since then it's Waynesburg with 10 unanswered, and they lead at halftime 10-0. We're just about set to begin our halftime festivities. Let me correct the score. Waynesburg 10, Washington 3. Now let's go back down to the sideline and Bill Fontana. Bill.
Sam, thank you very much. We're with Russ Moore, the head coach of the Waynesburg squad, the Red Raiders. And looking at this football game, Russ, in the beginning of the game, you think that, the aura of Three Rivers Stadium, your kids were a bit unsettled?
A bit tight, yes, very much unsettled. The fun ball, we're okay now. It usually takes us like that in most games. It takes about 2 or 3 series before we do get things going. And once we get Lanny moving, we know we're pretty good.
I spoke to you earlier in the week, and you told me that one of the keys, you're going to give them a dose of Lampher from the first to the fourth quarter. Are you still going to adhere to that philosophy?
I'll tell you what, with the offensive line that we have, we're going to give them a lot of Lampher. I mean, we put a few wrinkles in for Lampher to get the ball, basically just straight sub score, and most of us are working the first half. We're going to give them some Lampher, and we're going to pass the ball. Lee will be okay. We'll come out and throw here a little bit in the second half.
Russ, you were in a bit of a precarious situation. Your defense came through big for you early.
Our defense, Dave Ferris, our defense coordinator, always does that. I mean, he's got the kids prepared every game, and Devontae Johnson, that's the first time we got up against him. He's got more speed than we thought he had.
They are banged up. They have some players that they're trying to disguise with some key injuries.
Right, yeah, I know they're banged up. Lord, everybody's banged up this time of the year. I'm feeling a little sore myself.
Well, you wanted to get on the Jumbotron. Show us your head.
Hey, here's the head, baby, right here.
$2 a piece, is that right, for 13
$1 a piece. I'm in debt right now, $36. So the chiller is $36. They said they'd take care of it if I got this one today.
Final question, what do you have to do to keep this up and be successful, bring the first crowd home since 50, well, actually, in the history?
It's very important that we come out here at halftime. It's very, very important. We come out, we're on defense first, and we shut them down and establish it. We started getting that going, and we started, getting the march so taking care of some of their big plays, and that's what we have to do, take away their big weapons.
Russ Moore from Waynesburg, and they're winning right now. It's halftime at Three Rivers Stadium. We'll be back with more high school football on Fox Sports Net.
No time to watch the oven? Time to get out of line and into an agile, well-equipped, entertaining Dodge Stratus. It takes your drive in a whole different direction. Now get 0.9 financing or a $1,250 cash allowance on Dodge Stratus.
If you want to get a better read on Pittsburgh, get it from the writers of the Pittsburgh Tribune Review.
Writing in Pittsburgh is great because this is a sports town. My writing is like the way Darius Kasparaitis plays hockey, hard-hitting.
People in the Pittsburgh area, born to hunt and fish, and I love to do it, and I love talking to them about it.
cover sports from a fan's perspective. I was born here, grew up here, and there's nothing like a Pittsburgh sports fan.
Call 1-800-909-TRIB to start home delivery of the Pittsburgh Tribune Review.
Yep, it's pickup, Harry.
NFL This Morning. Join Chris, Marv, Jackie, and Chris for a wild hour of pregame power. NFL This Morning, Sunday on Fox Sports Net. It's an ACC Big Ten showdown. The Tigers come calling to battle Jarrett Stevens and the Nittany Lions. Clemson, Penn State, Wednesday at 8 on Fox Sports Net. Kick off your weeknights with a show for football fanatics. NFL, Thomas, Stephen Preston. Our all-pro team is all over it.
Things are picking up.
Fox Sports Net Football News, weeknights at 6.
Game time, baby. Game time.
We're back at Three Rivers Stadium. It is halftime. It's Waynesburg enjoying a 10-3 lead over Washington High School. This is the second of 4 games. Coming up next, we'll have Bell Vernon and West Allegheny. But the Red Raiders lead right now, and speaking of them, let's go down on the field and pick up the action of the Waynesburg Central Red Raider Marching Band.